Hi, welcome back to another episode of Walking with God this week. So today I am going to share mostly about some memory card things I did and switched up. For my Bible reading, I did about the same stuff. I did some psalm prayers and all that stuff. Prayer journal, I didn't do too much different. I am going to show you like a mini book that I'm using, but the main thing that I switched up this week and that I want to talk about is the memory cards. So if you remember, I have been using this system, which was created by someone. I'm not really sure. I mean, a lot of people say Charlotte Mason, some people say other people, so I'm not sure who it was created by. It was created a long time ago. I just made dividers for it. So this is the system I've been using. And if you're on the podcast, it's the system with the dividers that have the daily, odd, even, days of the week, and then the 1 through 31 numbers. And basically every day, if it's Monday the 19th, you read a daily card and then you read odd because 19 is odd, and then you would go to Monday and read the card behind Monday. So if you're more interested in that, I do have like a whole video explaining it. But I've been doing this and I love it. I do feel like I was getting a little bit behind. I don't spend a ton of time at my desk. I really have a couple of hours of work time just because I have a toddler. And other than that, I feel like I'm more, we're at the couch, we're outside, we're on walks, and we're in the car. And so I felt like I wasn't able to do my memory cards as much as I would like. So what I did decide to do is to make a mini book of it. So when I made my mini book, though, I did not make all the cards just because I didn't want to waste time and lamination and cards in case I didn't like it. And so what I did is I just did the daily, odd, even, and then the days of the week. So if I do end up liking it, I can obviously go back and create the rest of the cards, the 1 through 31. But this is what I have so far. But the one thing that I really like about this is I added something to it. So behind daily, I've got the card that I'm studying, which is Proverbs 4:23. And then I put one of these Explore the Word cards, which these are made by my friend Jennifer. You might have seen I have my field notes dividers, and they just go through and you write a scripture and then you just answer some questions. What am I learning about who God is? Word or phrases that God is bringing to light, and how is this transforming my heart and mind? And so I just do it randomly, but I thought it would be cool to do it for the verse I am memorizing. That way I'm kind of making connections. It's probably going to help me memorize because I'm actually studying the verse. So I did that this week and I really liked it. So I had my verse and I just went through and, the verse is keep your heart with all vigilance, for from it flow the springs of life. And so I just wrote, what am I learning about who God is? He cares about our words, our actions, our responses, all that comes from our heart. And then words or phrases. I looked up vigilance. I looked up different verses, different translations, which some said diligence. And then looking at Blue Letter Bible, it just says the word means guard, watch, prison, guard post. So then I just wrote, keep your heart guarded, for from it flows the spring of life. And then, what's transforming my heart and mind, just that what goes into my heart matters because it comes out. It comes out through my words and my actions. So I should be watchful of my thoughts and my heart. So that really kind of helped me put, meaning to the verse rather than just studying a verse to study it or memorizing it to memorizing it, actually studying the verse and meditating on it and thinking about what it actually means. So that's what I did this week. And then for the other cards, I did get them all set up and I just put an Explore the Word. That way when just on certain days, if I'm reviewing that word, I can then have it ready and I can explore the word, explore those verses too. So I thought that was fun. You could even do the Pray the Word. So I have my Pray the Word cards. So that would be another option, is to get some of those and pray that specific verse too. So just kind of trying to make it more than just memorizing words, if that makes sense. So I really liked that this week. And then the other thing I did this week is in regards to my prayer journal. So if you guys remember, if you're part of the studio, I made a mini prayer journal book. which is basically like the prayer journal, but mini. And I really liked it and I was really excited about it, but I found that I didn't really use it. And that's just because I really love my prayer journal, because my prayer journal has my calendars in it. It has all my prayers. It's very organized. It has, I have calendars. I have like prayers I've written out. It just has so much stuff. And so for me, I found it hard to use something else. And when I did try to use this, whatever was in here, I wanted to come home and write it in my big prayer journal. And so I decided to kind of think about it differently. So every day when I come into my prayer journal, I am using my big prayer journal that's in my A5 binder, and I am praying the different topics depending on the day. I have, my weekly guide, and I pray through different topics. But then for on the go, so if we are just, sometimes we're outside, if we are in the car, if we're going on a walk, or I'll just stick it in my purse, I can have this, but I have created these little prompts that are more like war room prayers, I would say. So they're not the prayers that I write in my prayer journal, which my prayer journal has war room prayers. So like biblical prayers, big overarching things like maybe for my kids, I'm praying for salvation and I'm praying for their hearts to learn God's word. But then it has the specific things like, okay, this child is struggling with anxiety. I'm going to pray for that. This child has testing coming up. I'm going to pray for that. So those are more like the everyday prayers. So what I decided to do with this mini book is to do the more biblical, overarching, big picture prayers. That way, when I'm out or, in the car or outside, I can be making good use of my time, not on my phone. I can have my prayer journal, but I have prayers already kind of written out and ready to go. So for my heart, for instance, I have, let my heart be holy ground, a place where your word dwells and your truth is declared. Let me take you at your word today. Keep guard over my heart and mind. So very just like big picture goals. And I do have some blank pages behind that, so I can write prayers, but I pretty much made these prompts. And if you are part of the studio, you will get all these this week. But I made prompts for marriage, my husband, children, my home, motherhood, just the battle, work. I made prayers for pretty much every section, anxiety and words. So I have all of these prayer prompts that are just ready to go so I can pray them. The other thing I really love about the mini prayer journal is you can add verse cards. So we've got the prompts, but then if there's specific verses, maybe you're praying for a specific person or topic, you can also just hole punch those and put them in there. So behind husband, I have his prayer prompts, but I also have a verse card, which is Genesis 18:19, which says, "For I have chosen him that he may command his children and his household after him to keep the way of the Lord by doing righteousness and justice, so that the Lord may bring to Abraham what he has promised him." So this is something I pray over my husband, that God would, or that my husband would command his children and his household, that he would keep the way of the Lord so that we can keep the way of the Lord. And so I just liked having that in there. So that was something I added this week. But I just really thought this would be better use, at least for me personally. If you are using the mini prayer journal and it works for you to, write all your stuff, that's so awesome. I just found I wasn't really using it, and I really did want to. I really wanted to have something on the go, just because I don't, this prayer journal, my binder doesn't really fit in my purse. So that's why I thought this would be good. So that is what I did this week for that. And honestly, that's pretty much it. That's what I wanted to share. I think the only other thing I'll share is just some reading I did this week. Was just more random reading. Not random, I don't want to say it's random, but I actually was just reading through the Psalms. So sometimes I do this at nighttime. So me and my husband are sitting on the couch, and maybe we even have a show on in the background. And, sometimes we're talking, or, like last night, my daughter was up, and so she was sitting with us, and we were watching some like cooking show. But then I just had my Bible and I just kind of started reading through it. And so I usually just open up to the Psalms because that's the easiest place. And a lot of times I'm not going to do my like Bible reading, like a full in-depth study when I've got like, when everyone's around sitting. So it was more just like I can talk, I can be interrupted, I can, talk to them and be interrupted, but then I can easily come back and read. And so this is what I did last night is I was reading Psalm 66 and just reading through it. And so that was just kind of an encouragement that I think sometimes I forget too, that we can have, you can read your Bible at any time, right? It doesn't have to be some specific thing. Yesterday was Father's Day, but my kids were over at their other dad's house. So I had to drive in the morning to go get them. I came back home. My parents had stopped by, and so we hung out with them. So I really didn't have a lot of time to, I was in the car for over 2 hours just to go get the kids. And so that makes it hard that sometimes I'm not able to get in the word like I would have liked. So I used to be really good about always having my Bible just sitting out on the couch, or, if we're going to sit and watch a show or we're going to just sit, I would just have it ready so that if I could just kind of read through a few things, or even before bed, just have it open so I can read through a few verses. But I did it again last night and I really enjoyed it. So again, doesn't mean you have to be like super quiet and hey, be quiet, you guys, I'm reading my Bible, It really was like we were just sitting there talking, and they would talk to me and we would talk, and then I'd go back to reading, I'd make some notes, and but it was a way for me to kind of end the day in the Word, but also around my family, if that makes sense. So I just wanted to share that. I really liked Psalm 66. It talks about how for God, this is verse 10, for God, O God, has tested us. You have tried us as silver as is tried. You brought us into the net. You laid a crushing burden on our backs. You let men ride over our heads. We went through the fire and through water, yet you have brought us to a place of abundance. So it's just kind of a good reminder that sometimes we get put through the storm. If you are doing that through the storm study, like we get put through the storm, but yet he brings us to a place of abundance. And in the New King James Version, it says he brings us to a place of fulfillment, meaning he fulfills what he promises. He brings us out of the fire, of the darkness, of the storm. And maybe it's not the way that we thought it would be, but he brings us through that and brings us out. And in his own timing, he brings us out. And so I just wanted to kind of share that. That was what I was reading last night, and it was very encouraging that he brings us to a place of abundance. So I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope you enjoy your week.